Magandang araw! In this video, we will be learning about the things that we need to be prepared of when an earthquake happens. But before that, let us review our knowledge about earthquakes. An earthquake is a sudden release of strain energy in the Earth's crust, resulting in waves of shaking that radiates from the source outwards. The Earth's crust consists of several tectonic plates, and if you look closely, the crust is like a giant puzzle consisting of 7 major and several minor tectonic plates. It is not a complete fit in all places, and in these connections, we can see volcanoes, which are vents of the Earth's core. The largest of these plate tectonics is the Pacific Plate. This is the reason why we have the Pacific Ring of Fire, and the Philippines lie on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is why there are many volcanic activities happening in our country. The Philippines also has its own tectonic plate, which is why we have several ground movements every now and then. Our country has many fault lines as seen on the picture, which causes minor to major earthquakes once in a while. It is normal to have 10 to 20 small earthquakes every day in our country. But what we fear the most is the infamous big one. Before we prepare you for it, let us talk about the big one first. The big one is connected to the West Valley Fault System, which runs through many cities in Metro Manila. The fault line is from Bulacan up to Rizal, Cavite, and Laguna area. It is said that the big one will be a 7.2 magnitude earthquake. If this happens to countrysides and provinces, it will still cause trouble but not too much, unlike in the cities. Sadly, the West Valley Fault System crosses near our school at the other side of the La Mesa Dam. This may cause the dam to shatter. Knowing this, it is just proper to make sure that we are ready when this kind of catastrophe happens. Knowing all those facts, we are now more ready to know what we need to do before, during, and after an earthquake. Planning is the key. Being able to know what we will be facing can create many opportunities for us to prepare for the big one. Let us discuss these one by one. We have to know the hazards. The stairs is one of the weakest part of a building. It is why we have to control the volume of students who will pass through these stairs. It will be better if we walk faster than run to avoid stampede and cause more accidents. To make sure that our classrooms are earthquake-proof, we have to check all installed equipment inside the classrooms if they are properly mounted. If not, we have to call the attention of the people who can help us with it. During an earthquake, it is best to move farther away from these installations, for there is a big possibility of it falling. Familiarizing oneself of the evacuation plan is important for our survival. Evacuation plans will be posted in our classrooms, hallways, and other parts of the school for us to be informed. It is also part of our earthquake drill to make sure you remember your evacuation plan. Next, we prepare our emergency supply kit. We start with the whistle and flashlight. When in distress, it is hard to shout or call the attention of others through talking or shouting. But it is easier with blowing a whistle. In emergency situations, rescuers are familiar with this whistle sound and can easily locate you. We also don't know when catastrophes will happen. That is why we need to have a flashlight in cases it will be handy. Our emergency contact person and their number should be in our IDs in cases they need to be contacted. In emergency situations, it is best that you are well equipped and is ready for it. Having your own personal first aid kit and sanitation kit inside your bags are important for your own survival. Your personal kit should include all of the following: extra masks, alcohol, tissue, wet wipes, and liquid soaps is for the hygiene, which we need because of the pandemic too. Adding your own pain-relieving ointment and personal medicine is a must for your convenience. Candies is an easy relief for nausea and sometimes headaches too. With the volume of students during an emergency, each classroom should be equipped with their own first aid kit and emergency kits. For the earthquake emergency kit, the following are needed: candles, match or lighter, flashlights with batteries and extra batteries will be of use especially if the earthquake happens in a later time. Cords of rope will also be handy if needed. Garbage bags plays many roles like controlling body temperatures and for covering aside from carrying stuffs. Tissues, wet wipes, and liquid soap is for sanitation. Paper and pen can also be used for communicating. Extra whistles will also be handy. Water and food is for convenience, especially if you get stranded in a place. The class list with emergency contact numbers is for easily contacting their guardians. The red and green paper is a way to communicate with rescuers. And the class placard can easily identify the group of students wherever they will go. For the red and green colored papers, the green signals the rescuers that the classroom is clear, while red signals them that there is an emergency situation inside the classroom. There will be students from each section who will be trained for basic first aid, and they will be assigned to be the first aider of their class. And to partner their knowledge with the proper equipment and material, a complete first aid kit should be provided. These are the basic first aid materials for possible emergencies on disasters like earthquakes. Aside from a first aider, we will also be training students to operate fire extinguishers and circuit breakers. We will work in close contact with the Barangay Health Emergency Response Team or BERT of Barangay Greater Lagro. Having a good plan and preparing for it would lessen the impact of the disaster that is yet to come. So, participate regularly in our earthquake drills. Now, let us familiarize ourselves with what we need to do during an earthquake. We are all accustomed to the drop, cover, and hold scheme, but let us refresh you with it. When we hear the alarm or when we feel the earthquake, we need to drop on one knee to avoid being knocked down by the movement. We have to make sure that we are in a flight position where one knee is on the floor and the other leg is ready to stand up anytime. This will help us to stand up and evacuate faster. This is what our backpacks are for. We cannot protect our heads with just a book or our hands. Pull your backpack up to your head. Doing so will also protect your spine from anything that may fall on you. It is better if you can secure yourself under tables or near walls. Earthquake happens for 1 minute. Hold on while the ground is shaking or until the alarm stops. Also, hold on to heavy things like your chairs, desks, tables, or the wall during the shaking. When the earthquake stops, stand up and evacuate. Panicking will do us no good. Stay calm, be alert, and follow the evacuation plan designed for you. Even if you're already outside the building, be watchful and quick to respond to events around you. After the earthquake, let us brush up on possibilities after an earthquake. Let's talk about it one by one. Again, as soon as the shaking stops, you are to proceed with the evacuation plan. There are assigned places where you need to go. There are also assigned people that are tasked to take care of your group. Aftershocks will happen. It is the main reason why we need to evacuate as fast as possible. Sometimes, aftershocks causes more trouble than the main earthquake itself. An aftershock are smaller magnitudes of earthquakes. It may happen only minutes after the main earthquake. And since buildings were shook already, these aftershocks may pose greater trouble to the foundation of the buildings. We have to update ourselves of what happened. We can check the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or the PhilVolcs website to know the earthquake status. Again, we will be training first aiders in all sections and will also be putting up first aid stations after the earthquake. If there are small fires, there are assigned people who are in charge in these situations. There will be announced and unannounced earthquake drills. Make sure you practice with us every time. We opt to make Lagronians Batang Bida laging handa. See you on the next earthquake drill. We hope you learned from this video presentation. Stay safe and always be ready.